All right. Good morning. Let's just go and get started. We'll get right into it. We'll start in a child's pose. Okay, just kind of take a couple breaths there to let everybody jump on and join us. So toes together, knees can be a little bit wider. Just sending those hips back to the heels. Reaching the arms forward, then we'll rest that head down. Just closing down those eyes. Start to breathe in and out through the nose, just coming to this space. And letting everything else go. Whew. And become just a little bit more intentional with that breath. So taking that big breath in through the nose, finding that big expansion of the rib cage, of that belly. And then we'll exhale that breath out. So at the bottom of that breath, we're going to flex the abs to press all of that air out. We're going to keep that core tight. And then again, we'll find that big expansion of the rib cage, not so much the belly because we're keeping it tight. Now, in this position, you might feel a little bit more of a stretch through the upper back with that inhale. And exhaling it out because we do want that rib cage to expand to the front, to the sides, to the back. So it's going to be a little bit more forceful, really pulling that breath in. We're pressing that breath out. So we're using that breath just to help to warm up the body before we even get moving. Okay, then we'll lift up slightly. Go ahead and walk those hands over to that right side. Reaching out through that left arm. Again, you can re-rest that head down. Let's walk those hands to center, and then we'll go over to that other side. So big reach out through that right arm. Rest that head down. And press those hips down and back. And then let's walk it back to center. We're going to come up onto those hands and knees. So just adjusting those knees to the right underneath the hips. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. On that inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. Exhale, we'll round that spine, press the shoulder blades away, draw that belly up and in. And inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Go one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And with that rounded spine, you just go ahead and press those hips back to the heels. So again, those hips are going to stay about hip distance apart. Okay, pressing into those palms. Press the hips back to those heels. Keep that rounded spine as we come back up. Flattening out that back. Now from here, we're going to walk those hands forward so hips will stay high as we soften that chin, or maybe even chin's a little aggressive. Forehead down to the mat first, and then maybe you lower that chin down. And if your shoulders are really tight and the head has to hover, that's completely fine. Okay, it's early. Just being aware of the body. Okay. Not forcing it or pressing it to a position that it's not ready for this early. Let's lower down onto those forearms. We're going to slide it forward to that forearm plank. So stepping those feet back, keeping that core nice and tight. And even bring those feet together. Really squeeze the legs together, squeezing those glutes. Chest is pulling forward. And we're pressing those shoulder blades away from each other. From here, we're going to do little taps. We're going to tap that right foot onto the right side of the mat. Bring it back to center. Left foot taps to the left side of the mat. Okay, bring it back to center. So here we go. We're going to go a little bit faster. We're going to go 10. Alternating 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips down. Those elbows will stay right underneath the shoulders. If that's too aggressive, slide those arms forward a little bit more. That's a little bit less extension on your low back. Okay, so anyway, press into those palms. Draw the elbows back. Lift up through the crown of the head. Now I'm not looking up. I'm actually going to look down towards that top edge of my mat. So neck is a little bit more neutral, but still thinking really tall through the top of the head, through the neck, through the spine. Really trying to find that lift through the spine. Shoulders are pulling down and back. Good. Let's go soften it down. Hands underneath those shoulders. Let's go right back into that child's pose. So again, knees are a little bit closer together, about hip distance. Good, pressing into those palms. And then we'll come up onto those hands and knees, walking those hands forward, pressing into the fingertips as we soften that forehead down towards the mat. And then lower those forearms down. Send it forward to our plank. Again, we're going to go through those taps. 10 of them. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll lower those hips down, drawing those elbows back, lifting up through the crown of the head. Breathing, relaxing through those legs. And then we'll soften it down, pressing it back into that child's pose. So we bring the knees a little bit closer together. We get a little bit more rounding in the spine. So working that spine in multiple directions. So not just stretching it through the extension, but we're also finding a little bit more mobility through the flexion, so the rounding of the spine. Let's do that one more time. So we'll come back onto hands and knees. Flatten out that back. Slide those arms forward, lowering the head or the chin down. Slide it forward to our plank. Those taps for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower those hips down. Elbows back. Lift up through the top of the head. And now from here, soften it down. Hands will come underneath those shoulders. Curl those toes under. We're going to try and do a push-up, reverse plank, lifting your hips and shoulders at the same time. So press into the hands, press into those feet, lift, and then hips up to the sky. Downward facing dog, pedaling out those feet. You might get some little snap, crackle, pop for those toes, those ankles, those knees. Just getting a nice stretch through the backs of the legs, down to the calves and the ankles. And we'll come up onto the toes. Bend those knees, look forward, stepping those feet up to the top of the mat. Inhaling that half lift. And exhale, slide those hands down as we fold. And let that head hang heavy for another breath. And then we'll bend into those knees, go and rise up to standing, reaching those arms up nice and tall. Then exhale, we'll bring it right back down into that forward fold. Inhale that half lift. Exhale, plant those hands. Let's go ahead and step it back to a plank. Good. Now, from that plank, we're going to do 2 kind of mountain climbers. We're going to go really slow with it. We're going to draw that right knee to that right elbow, pause, squeeze, send it back. Left leg, slow, slow, slow. Bring that knee towards that elbow, pause it there, squeeze, send it back, lower down. Inhale, lift it up, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Another breath. Good, now inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Inhale that half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach it up tall, pressing those hips forward as we reach back. And then exhale, bring it right back down. Inhale the half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step it back to our plank. Right knee towards that right elbow, pause. Send it back. Left knee towards that left elbow, pause. Send it back. Lower down. Inhale, lift. And exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Last time, on the toes. Step or lightly, as quietly as you can, flip those feet top of the mat. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bring it right back down. Again, half lift on the inhale. Exhale, plant those hands. Step or hop it back. Right knee to the right elbow. Inhale it back. Exhale, left knee to the left elbow. Inhale it back. Lower down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hips up, down dog. Good, now come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step or hop, those feet top of the mat. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, we're gonna fold. Inhale, we'll rise to standing. Exhale, hands come to heart center as we sink those hips down into our chair. So that core is nice and tight. We're gonna lift. Left leg up, cross that ankle over, sinking those hips back. So back is nice and flat, drop those hips down as low as it's allowing. And one more breath. Good, now we'll lift up, send that leg straight back so we can reach through those arms, reaching the fingertips, reaching through that back heel, finding that balance. If this is a little bit too much, you can always lower the hands down towards the ground. Now exhale, we're gonna curl it in, find that little crunch. So elbows are pulling back, knee is pulling forward. Find this rounded. Now, as we extend it out, we wanna flatten out that back, keeping the core tight, using that glute, again, to extend that leg out. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach, curl, and reach. Two more, curl it in. Reach it out, last one, curl it in. Reach it out, lower that back foot down. We're coming into that warrior one stance. So back heel is down, toes are turned out slightly, hips are square to the front of the mat. We're reaching those arms up, bending into that front knee. Draw those arms down, open up that chest, and exhale, let's fold. So hover that chest, rib cage can maybe slide to that inner thigh, maybe that shoulder comes all the way down to that knee. And then release those hands as we rise back up. And lower those hands down, sending it back to our plank, vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And we'll come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet top the mat. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise. Exhale, hands to heart center as we sink those hips down to our chair. We're gonna cross that left ankle over that right thigh. Send those hips back. We find that nice stretch through that left outer hip. And then we're gonna reach it up, uncross, send that leg back as we reach those arms forward. So again, if you need to lower the hands down towards the ground, you can. Press to the heel, reach through those fingers. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, press it out. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it out. Curl it in. Reach it back out. Last time, curl that knee in. Extend it out. Now take that big step back. I just do that same leg twice. I think I messed that up. That's all right. We'll do the same leg twice on the other side. Now draw those elbows down. Open up through that chest. And exhale, fold. Inhale, we're gonna rise back up. And exhale those hands down. Send that leg back, vinyasa. And exhale those hips up, downward facing dog. All right, inhaling on the toes. Step those feet up. Inhale that half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Here we go, other side. We're gonna go through this 2 more times, so if you've been doing it the correct way, alternating legs like you're supposed to, just keep alternating. Since I messed this up, I'm gonna do my right leg now. So crossing that right ankle over, sink those hips back. Yes, this is the other side now. Ooh, definitely tighter. Here we go. Sink it down a little bit deeper. And then we'll bring it back up, press that leg back, reach those arms forward. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it out. And curl. and reach. 2 more times, curl it in. Reach it back out. Last one, curl and reach. Lower that foot down. Arms up, squaring those hips off. Bend into that front knee a little bit more. Now we'll interlace those fingers. Open up that chest and exhale, fold. One more breath. Release those hands as we rise back up. Lower those hands down. Send that leg back and down. Inhale, lift. And exhale those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Then come onto the toes. Bend the knees, step or hop those feet flat back on that inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Switching sides, or if you need to do twice on that right leg like I need to, we'll go into that right side, crossing over again. Sink the hips back. Inhale, we'll rise up, extend the leg, reach through those arms. 5 times, curl it in. Inhale it out, and curl. Inhale, reach it out. Curl it in, and reach. Last 2, curl that knee in. Reach it out. Last one, curl, and reach. Big step back, warrior 1. Draw those arms down, interlace the fingers, open up that chest, and fold. And release those hands as we rise back up to that warrior 1. Lower the hands down to the mat. Step it back to our plank. Vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. If you need a quick child's pose, feel free to head there. Otherwise, let's just take a couple breaths pedaling those feet. And then we'll come forward into that plank position. We're gonna do a few more of those mountain climbers. So we're gonna bring the right knee towards the right elbow, send it back. Left knee towards the left elbow, send it back. Now we'll crisscross. Right knee, left elbow, send it back. Left knee, right elbow, send it back. Okay, now let's hips up, down dog. Give it a little break. We're gonna think about it this way, making a square with the knee. Okay, drawing a square. Come forward to a plank. Right knee, right elbow. Right knee, left elbow. Right knee, left wrist. Bring it across to the right wrist. And up to the elbow, across, down, across, up. One more time. Across, down, across, up. Send it back down dog. You guys get how that works? Just making a big old, drawing a square, rectangle, whatever, with that knee. Bring it forward to a plank. Left knee, left elbow. Bring it down, bring it across. Whoops, there we go. And down to the right wrist. Bring it across to the left. Up, across, down, across, up. Last time, across, down, across, up. And send it back down dog. Let's lower those knees down. Send those hips back to the heels. Ooh, give those shoulders a little rest. Then you can just relax the elbows down, or if you want to bring those arms back towards those ankles, that's fine too. All right, we're drawn squares. One more time. Back to that plank position. Again, this can be done kneeling as well. It's just a little bit harder to kind of get the up and down motions, but just can kind of go back and forth is fine. All right, here we go. Right knee, right elbow, across, down, across, up, across, down, across, up. Last time, over, down, over, up. Send it back down dog. Other side to that plank. Here we go. Left knee, left elbow, across, down, across, up. There you go. Across, down, across, up. Last one. Bring it over, down, across, up, and send it back. Downward facing dog. Whew. Now let's go into that big hip stretch. Just relax it for a breath. Not a breath, a moment. So pigeon that right knees at that right wrist. Foot comes across, sliding that left leg back. And then when you're ready, lower down onto those forearms. You can rest that head down onto the hands. Again, a little bit more active, pressing into that right shin, pull back, left knee is pulling forward. And let's come back to the hands. Step it back, down dog. To the other side, left knee, left wrist, foot comes across, again, into that pigeon. Right leg slides back, lower onto those forearms. And again, rest the head down. Just for a few breaths. And left shin presses down and back. Right knee presses down and forward. And then come back to those hands. Actually, just roll over. Ooh. Coming into a seated position. Let's reach those arms up overhead. Exhale, find that twist over to that right side. So sitting really tall on that inhale. Exhale, a little deeper into that twist. Bring it back to center. Reach the arms up, twisting it to the other side. Good, bring it back up. Let's do a side stretch, reach up and over. Get a little bit of a oblique work, those sides. So let's give them a nice stretch. Back up to the other side. Big reach up and over. And let's bring it back up. Go ahead and lower those hands down. Close down those eyes. Let's take a couple breaths. And finding that. Focusing on that breath. Just being here in this moment. Just again, finding that clear headspace before we start our day. Blinking those eyes open. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. We have yoga back again on Saturday morning at 9:30. So hope to see you all there. And yeah, have a good one.